Do you know how I know the Denver Broncos are about to dominate the AFC West? Because the top content creators from the Chiefs, Chargers, and the Raiders all rank your Denver Broncos extremely highly when we went through each and every position group and gave a ranking in the West. In this video, we break down positional grades at each and every position across all of our teams. I think you will be extremely surprised and excited by it. So let's let it breathe.
Let's talk about the starters here. How do you rank the 4 quarterbacks in this division from 1 to 4, 4 being the worst?
Are we talking about who is going to have the best season or who's like right now?
Yeah, I want to clarify that. Are we talking like you get them now for the rest of their career? Are you saying like to win one game? Or are you saying for this
We're
season?
talking about right now.
Right now.
Ooh,
well, right now kind of changes some things up a little bit. Right now, I'd say, and this is actually not the direction I was going to go at all. I would probably say if we're doing this right now, it'd be Mahomes, Nix, Herbert, and Smith. But if we weren't doing this, if we're just doing this as in who I think is going to have like the best season next year, I think it goes Mahomes, Herbert, Nix, and Smith.
That is disgusting.
Nope, we just won because that's my exact quote, bro.
I'm kind of appalled that you would put Nix up there before Herbert, considering the fact he's lost to Herbert twice.
But even then, Herbert, they've got the same amount of playoff wins. Herbert and Nix have the same amount of playoff wins. And if you want to like just go off roster, Denver did not have a better roster than LA last year.
Gino has the same amount of playoff wins as both those guys as well. Just
all right, well, that's why they throw them in there. Throw them in there. They're kind of the same. They're the same players.
Yeah. Ben, go ahead, man. Okay. Oh, you said the same, right?
Okay, so Patrick Mahomes, I hate him. My least favorite player in the NFL, but got it. He's number 1. Yeah. Number 2 truly is Bo Nix. He was 6th last year when it comes to throwing touchdowns in the league, which is a pretty important stat. Your guy, Geno Smith, was the number 1 intercepted quarterback in football last year.
No ground game in one of the worst O-lines.
Dude, no ground game. Kenneth Walker is like better than any running back. The Broncos
he missed a ton of games. Bro,
he had to trust Zach Charbonnet to end up running.
Dude, you got DK Metcalf, Lockett, like that offense.
No O-line. He's still at 4,300 passing yards.
That I think it comes down to you get the ball in the end zone and do you not turn it over, and that's Geno Smith literally is the worst at turning the ball over in the entire game last year with incredible wideout talent around him. Bo Nix was 6th in touchdowns without a tight end, and in his rookie year, this is his first time in his career going all the way back to his first year at Auburn that he's had continuity between his offensive coordinators across years. He is going to go off, and he's definitely, Herbert maybe is better than him this second, but I would take Bo Nix on this contract over Herbert.
Who had
straight
a
up
better
right now.
season last year? I think Bo Nix easily
have a better season than Herbert.
So right now, Mahomes, Herbert, or Mahomes, Nix, Herbert.
You could take that Bo Nix beat him in college at Auburn all day when we literally
talking about last year, bro.
Okay, but you guys are taking away from the now. Okay, look, I understand the Geno Smith slander. 21 touchdowns, 15 picks. That's nasty out there in Seattle. He's going back to Vegas, right, where he plays great indoors, one of the best quarterbacks indoors in football. With Pete Carroll, a guy that was the one to unlock his potential from day one. He has Brock Bowers, the best tight end, Darcy, in football. He went out and got Genty, who's going to be a generational running back. He has a real ground game now. This offensive line is very underrated. You bring in the likes of Jack, and this is unproven, but I love Jack Desh. I love Dante Thornton. I think Jacoby's one of the most underrated football players in the NFL, not just at his position, but one of the most underrated football players in the NFL. I mean, come on, man. Like, let's not act as though we're talking about the now. We're talking about the now. The now. When you look at the existing rosters, do you understand that Genty's going to make Geno Smith's life so much more easier? It's going to make his life so much easier. Let's not do this. But I have to agree with Jake's assessment. It's Patrick Mahomes, it's Herbert, it's Geno Smith, and then it's Bo Nix. Let's get to the offensive line, you guys.
If I was to rate the offensive lines today, I got to give it to the Chargers at number 1. This one might be surprising. I'm going to give the Broncos the second offensive line, not because I think your unit overall necessarily is better, but Garrett Bowles is better than any left tackle that we've had since Eric Fisher. So I'd give you guys the second spot. Chiefs have the 3 spot, and I think the Raiders are the last. I think Cap is going to be horrible. I think DJ Glaze is going to struggle. Yeah, you got a great center, but most of us have a good center.
Yeah. Here's the thing that honest, I'm not saying this to like dunk, but do you know the Broncos had the best offensive line in football last year? So, and do you know like Quinn Miners was an all-pro? Our offensive line is nasty. I agree. I'd give Chargers the top spot with a giant asterisk if Mekhi Becton stays healthy. If he does, that's going to be a really, really scary offensive line. But I think coming off 2 surgically repaired knees, missing several seasons already, I just don't think he will. But I think the Broncos are neck and neck right there. I chatted it to Graf. I don't know if he's got it there.
Oh, yeah. So what is this right here?
Well, just several, like this is a guy who ESPN reporter put it out there. It was a PFF report and the Ringer all ranked the Broncos as a top 2 offensive line in football. So I think there are folks.
Pass and run, yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you look at both aspects, the Broncos offensive line is sneaky good. This is just a screenshot I grabbed of and
I think
ESPN.
Philly and Detroit would like to have a conversation with you, but I definitely think that the Denver Broncos offensive line played really well last year.
Yeah. And then, man, dude, the Raiders, Jackson Powers, whatever. Dude, that video of him telling
hey, Jackson Powers Johnson, okay? Get it right, man.
You're going to know his name, man, because watching that video when he told AP he was going in the game, it got me actually hyped, and I can't stand the Raiders when he's just like, I went up to him and I was like, respectfully, coach, I'm playing center. And it was like, you watch the highlights, he's nasty. But Kappa is horrible, dude. He was 53 out of 58 guards who played last year. Like, he's bad. Yeah. So I still think you're better than the Chiefs. Mahomes gets sacked 6 times on 0 blitzes, like 4-man all the time. Like, we hit him 9 times in the game we played him when they didn't pull their starters. Your offensive line is garbage, Darce. It really is. So it goes Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs.
Chargers, I'm going to keep this simple and sweet. Chargers have the best O-line by a landslide. I do believe that we have an underrated O-line, and I think we're going to be better this season. But I have to agree. I got to give Ben the number 2 spot. Denver has the number 2 offensive line. I think we have number 3, and I think the Kansas City's Chiefs offensive line is terrible. And I think I think Patrick Mahomes is slammed on its neck 900 times this season.
Yeah. To me, I'm flip-flopping Denver and Chargers. And the only reason of that is Denver did put up those numbers for both pass and run. Yeah. The Chargers, as much as I love this offensive line and what we did with it, problem is in the question mark, center.
Ben, how do you feel about the defensive lines? How do you rank them in the AFC West?
I mean, you guys are going to think this is a homer take, but the Chris Jones and probably Max are the best actual players. And so it's hard to not just be like they're 1 and 2. But if you take a look at sacks last year, the Denver Broncos have number 3 in Nick Bonito, number 12 in Jonathan Cooper, and number 22 in Zach Allen. And none of you guys have a guy in the top 20. So the Broncos had the most sacks last year of any other team. So I think you got to give it.
Rushers missed a ton of games, Ben. Malcolm Coos missed the entire season. Max missed a ton of games.
But I mean, it sounds like he's. Like I said, I'd take Max over anybody, and I'd take a healthy Christian Wilkinson, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be. So I think I'd go Broncos just because they did it last year. And if Raiders are healthy, I'd probably swap the Raiders there, but I'd go all of our defensive lines are great, man. So it's hard to not just say, give it a 4-way tie, I guess, if we're going to do that, but I'd go Broncos, Raiders, Chiefs, Chargers.
I'm going to go Raiders, Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, Christian Wilkins, if healthy. And once again, it sounds as though they're worried more about potentially that screw in his foot. They're just worried about it potentially breaking and needing another surgery. So they're just playing it safe with him right now. Once again, Pete Carroll did come out and say it's going to be a journey, but we got until August to get it right. Christian Wilkins is a veteran. He's one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL. He's for sure a top 7, top 10 defensive tackle. Raiders number 1. I'm going to go Denver number 2. I'm going to go Chargers number 3. I'm going KC number 4.
What kind of list is that?
Well, dude, Chris Jones is incredible, but you lost another All-Pro or Pro Bowl player there in the offseason. So other than Chris Jones, who you got on the defensive line who scares us?
I like George Karlaftis too. I like him as well.
George Karlaftis, you brought back Charles Omenihu for dirt cheap. Now he's got some injury problems, but doesn't everyone?
How many times did you guys get to Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl?
Which Super Bowl? That's the question.
Dude, you lost your top-rated defensive player in the Super Bowl.
I will tell you,
Tershawn Wharton. You got Mike
Tershawn Wharton is basically Mike Pennell.
Mike Pennell is 37 years old. So
and I love Mike Pennell. I'm glad that we have him back, but I think he's going to play second fiddle to Omar Norman Lott. Here's the correct defensive line rankings. I think I would give it to the Broncos, but the Chiefs led the NFL in sacks the year before the Broncos did. And so I think if they can just get home a little bit more, we could easily flip-flop. But as of right now, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers.
Let's get to the linebacking core here. I'm going to go Denver number 1. This could be interchangeable at number 2. This is no knock to either one of you guys. I'll just go, man, I'm going to go with the Chiefs here at 2, Chargers at 3, Raiders at 4. I don't think our linebacking core lines up with you guys. I think this year we're expecting a ton from some veterans, and then we're expecting a ton from some of these young guys in year 2 and year 1 to potentially materialize. We got a guy in Lindenberg out of Minnesota in the 7th round. I don't even know if he makes this roster. I'm hoping he does. Tommy Eichenberg, Amari Gaynor, so on and so forth. But I got to keep it real. No biasness here, you guys. I think we have the worst linebacking core in the division. Jake, what you got?
Yeah, I would agree the same exact list as you do. Denver, Chiefs, Chargers, and the Raiders from there.
Ben, what you got?
Yeah, if you're talking outside it, because we play a 3-4,
I know
it's outside, it's weird, but like if you're just talking middle guys, let's go. I think the Broncos ceiling, we haven't seen Dre Greenlaw play since the Super Bowl. And so an Achilles injury is hard to come back from. If he hits, bro, we'll be number 1.
Well, he played a little bit last year, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, we haven't seen him in meaningful snaps. And then Alex Singleton blew his ACL in game 3 and then played an entire half of football on one ACL. So if he comes back again, I think we're 1, but because it's unproven, let's go Chiefs. Cause dude, all those dudes in free agencies I wanted. So let's go Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, but the caveat, we could jump up, and then Raiders. I think
it could be a 1A, 1B situation with the Chiefs for sure.
Yeah.
I was going to agree with you, Ben. I think it's Chiefs, but I would actually put you guys at 2 just because I think the Greenlaw is better than anyone that the Chargers have, no offense. And then you put Chargers at 3 and then Raiders at 4. And the only reason that I'm like so confident to say the Chiefs are number 1 is because you could look through 1 through 3. I don't even think Jeffrey Boss is going to play in year 1.
And that's a good problem to have. That's a great problem to have.
I think just 1 through 3, our linebackers are just better.
Yeah,
I think it's honestly Denver, Kansas City, 1A, 1B. Chargers at, they're at the 3 spot, and then the Raiders, once again, a lot of unproven talent. I think that Pete Carroll is going to mold some of these guys, and they could be one of the better units that we have down the line. I need to see it. But I think Pete Carroll's going to turn this into the safeties, just the DBs as a whole. This is going to be one of our strong suits at some point, but I'm just going off of right now, you guys.
I might be it is 1A, 1B. I would give the edge to the Chiefs just because I think overall we just have more, and it's because of our safety group. It's
and
not
a great DC. You guys have 2 of the greatest DCs in football.
But I think if we want to include our defensive backs as a whole, I think we have an edge just because we have more depth at safety than you guys do. But again, it's like 1A, 1B, and I think it's Chargers followed by the Raiders.
So you're telling me we're the top offensive line, top defensive line, top secondary, the best linebacking core in football. Our rookie wide receivers are about to pop off. Oh, we got RJ Harvey on top of that, and Bo Nix is going to have a sophomore surge. Full discretion there. They gave us the bottom category for the running back position, and then they are not too high on the Denver Broncos receivers either. But you know what? Doesn't matter about that. Sean Payton is high on the receivers, and he tells us that, and he shows us that with his actions. So, man, if the Broncos are truly as good as I think they are, and truly as good as the AFC West creators think they are, we are making a deep playoff run, and that is something we can all believe in.